Hi, I'm Craig Pope. If you're a first home buyer, it can be difficult pulling together a 10 or even 20% deposit for your first home. And that's where using a parental guarantee might work for you. I'm going to explain simply how the guarantee works. Each bank's a little bit different on how they work it, but this will just give you a bit of basic information of how it works. So let's assume you're going to buy a house of $300,000 and you have no deposit at this time, but your parents are willing to be a guarantor for the 20% deposit, which is $60,000. So you still will finance the whole $300,000, but 20% of it, being $60,000, will be a limited guarantee that your parents will be guaranteeing the bank that they could cover the payments on that $60,000 if you defaulted. So the banks are very pedantic on who they allow to be a guarantor. So it can't be a little old lady on just a pension with a freehold house. They're going to want to see that your parents could service that loan on top of their existing financial position if you couldn't pay that $60,000. So basically you get 80% first mortgage from the bank on the home you're going to live in. And the bank says, we also want to take a mortgage over your parents' house to secure the 20% deposit. So your parents' liability is limited to the 20% deposit, being $60,000 on a $300,000 purchase. The entire lending is still $300,000, but we might put $240,000 on a 30-year term, and the $60,000 portion that your parents are guaranteeing, we want to get that paid off as quickly as possible, because the aim is to release your parents from this guarantee within 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 years. Now the best way to release your parents as quickly as possible is to pay the $60,000 off as quickly as possible, and usually that is set on a shorter term to allow that to happen. We also want you to, if you can, make improvements to the property which will boost its value and again create that equity, because as soon as you've got 20% equity, we can seek to have that guarantee released. So by creating equity, by paying off that $60,000 quickly, hopefully some capital gain, also making improvements, adding value, will always help create the 20% equity so that as soon as possible, hopefully in a couple of years, 3, 4, maybe 5 years, that we can show the bank you've got 20% equity now and we can release the parents from their obligation. Now each bank works guarantors in a different way, so you've got to seek our help to tell you how it works and help you through the process, and also help your parents understand what it all means. They will need to seek legal advice at some point in time, and we also speak to a lot of parents and help them understand it, as they will also have to fill in forms and provide financial information for it to work. Obviously, if you have your own bit of cash deposit with KiwiSaver, then that can reduce how much the parents are guaranteeing. So if you've got money to go in, then that will lower their exposure. Any questions, please call us 7 days a week. We want to make it happen for you.